This is an older song from us that really caught on. Has been sung by many fans at various different grounds. So really appreciate support on this one. Quite simply, it's about a guy who's ginger. He came from Juventus and he plays on the wing. There's not a soul out there, no one to hear my prayers. Give me a ginger from Sweden. He came from Juventus and he plays on the wing. Give me a ginger from Sweden. Number 21, his name is Kulusevski. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Give me ginger from Sweden. He came from Juventus and he plays on the wing. Give me ginger from Sweden. Number 21, his name is Kulusevski. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
What is happening, people? Good morning, it's Scarface Spurs here. Second attempt with this, hopefully sorted out the technical issues, but I hope you're well. It's a big live today, lots to talk about. There's a lot that's happened in the last 12 or 24 hours or so, including the Bissouma incident, which came out of nowhere. Emerson over in Milan completed his medical. Potential Mikey Moore new contract, which could be signed, sealed and announced today after he turned 17 yesterday. A surprising Sky Bet poll about the ownership. Didn't see that coming, but also fans thinking that we'll finish above Arsenal next season. So there's a lot to discuss, and I'm glad you can hear me. Firstly, a massive big up to everyone in the chat. Firstly, Rinketic, thank you very much. Big up Barney as well in the chat. Big up Brian. Come on, you Spurs, big up. Can hear you now. That's what we like to hear. And good morning to my admin, Lewis. Hope you're well, mate. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. It's free to do so. And to keep up to date with all these lives and several content, whether it be match previews, match reactions, going into a new season, new Premier League show back every Wednesday, 7 p.m, or just like that, some of these lives as well. So there'll be a lot of content, weekly shows, don't forget as well, every Monday, 7:45 p.m, live on YouTube. Also, always available to listen after. But today, we're going to crack straight into it because we've got news on Bissouma, and that is news from The Sun that Yves Bissouma filmed himself inhaling deadly laughing gas just days before the new season kicks off. As we know, the midfielder has last night apologised for what he calls a severe lack of judgment. Possession of laughing gas with intent to get high was made illegal last year, with repeat offenders facing up to 2 years in jail and unlimited fine. Tottenham Hotspur told The Sun, we're looking into the events. This will be dealt with as an internal matter. So firstly, my thinking of it, of course, get involved in the comments below. I think it's a lack of respect from Bissouma. He knows that we're just a few days away from a new season. It kicks off for everyone on Friday. For us, there's still, it's only 7 days time. Also, it's a bit longer, but it's still very close by. So there's a lack of respect. It's a silly thing to do. I'm glad that he's apologised, but I do think that he'll be missing, personally think he'll be missing the first game of the season, rightly or wrongly. I do think the club will want to treat this seriously to stop this happening again. I didn't know it was illegal, to be honest with you. I didn't aware that, so it was interesting to read about that. But I do think the club will deal with this very seriously. I think that he'll be fined wages and potentially even miss the first game of the season, because Tottenham's position, they want to be strong in it, so this kind of thing doesn't happen again, and to avoid kind of criticism and the media stirring it up. So I think that they've got no choice but to be harsh on this. Lewis says agree. I'd fine him a week's wages. I think that's certainly something they will look into and should have words in there. There's something that'll be done, but it's just a silly time to do it as well, just before a new season, back in training as well. It's just an idiotic thing to do. Get your head down, crack on in training, and for me, stop messing around. So crazy. Didn't see that coming. Obviously, he has apologised, but he should know after what happened with the Ben score thing that whatever you say in that privileged position or unfortunate position, whatever way you look at it, as a professional footballer at a high level in the Premier League, at one of the top clubs in the league, whatever you say or do is going to be found or recirculated somewhere. What Ben score said he must have known deep down, or people around him must have known that is going to research. It's going to come up. We're all going to see it eventually. That's what the life is with social media, whether it be good or bad. I think there's a bit of both to it. We're always going to see that. It's always going to come back around. When Bissouma on his socials as well, it's bonkers. And I remind Ben Scorey done that interview in another country. It's always going to come back up. Someone's going to see it. It's going to be shared. So it's just you need to think before you do. And it is a bad look. And Barney says it in the comments. It's a bad look for a role model. It should be fine. And I think it will be. Rinketic says, is a laughing gas thing illegal? I recently found it out. It is, yes. So I think the club will take tough action because that's what any club should do, and it'd be the right thing to do. Frustrating for us to lose Bissouma, but that would be the right thing to do. If you put yourself in, Daniel Levy, whoever's making the decision at Spurs about this, they've got to set that kind of position of we treat crime seriously. It's a crime because it's illegal. So they've got to be very, very clear and consistent with this. So that was the big kind of breaking headline, if you like, which happened yesterday after absolutely nowhere. So do get involved with your thinking in the comments below. For now, we will come back to it, but for now, we're going to move on to the next story, which is Emerson, who last night and again this morning was pictured for his medical in Milan ahead of his move for AC Milan. So we hope the medical goes through, and I think overall we've got quite a good deal for him. I think we overpaid for the player at the time and potentially even signed the wrong player. But there was whether you believe the reports and rumours or not, but when the first talks happened between AC Milan and Tottenham, we were hearing 5 million, 6 million. So to get potentially 15 million euros or more is quite an impressive deal. I think we've done that well, and I obviously wish him all the best. I don't think his time at Tottenham was awful. I think he was done a fair job, let's say, as a utility player. I don't think he's a player we need to take us to the next level. And I think he struggled going forward, but I think one-on-ones he was very good at, and great character having around the dressing room. I think he'd be missed with that if you speak to any of the players, but I think it's the right thing to move him on. And I think the money we got for him is okay. AC Milan, I don't know how it worked for him, whether it be a utility player for them, whether he start. But really, I look at the Milan team in particular, up front, but also in midfield positions, they really do need to strengthen, not only our depth, but also our quality. So I'm surprised that they're spending 50 million euros on a defender, but is what it is. It is what it is. So he's an AC Milan player. I think that'll be announced either today or tomorrow. I want to also move on to the Sky Bet fan view poll. And the one in particular I want to focus on is Spurs fans are asked whether they think we're going to topple Arsenal or not. And a staggering 40% of Spurs fans think that we will topple Arsenal this season. And I find that I'm all for a bit of optimism, a bit of hope ahead of a new season. But let's be very, very clear here. Arsenal are absolutely leagues above us. And I'll be totally honest with you. I think they're going to finish 18, 20 points ahead of us. I think that this is their year. I hate to say it, and I do hope I'm wrong. Even just watching them in pre-season, they're just levels above the rest. They're in a complete other league. They look a lot better than Manchester City. They've had depth, Calafiori, good signing. They're looking to bring more in. They've got it right in the transfer window. They're stuck with Arteta and backed him. I don't think we can get anywhere near Arsenal. That's like saying that we're going to be in a title race. Realistically, that's not our aim. If we can keep close to them for a while, great, because they're our rivals, or we can make sure they don't beat us. Absolutely fantastic, even better. But our aim isn't to finish above Arsenal, whether fans like it or not. It's the same with Manchester City as well. The aim is to get back into the top four and eventually bring a domestic/European trophy back to, say, White Hart Lane. It should be called a new White Hart Lane, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is doable. I do think it's doable, but I don't think for 1 minute that we're top of Arsenal. I was very surprised by that of the poll. That was it took me by surprise. So get involved in the comments below. Do you think we're topple Arsenal? I mean, I could be completely wrong. I just think that they're in another league, and I don't think they're even going to get anywhere near them. They're blowing teams away, whether it be Bayer Leverkusen, Lyon, and they're just really, really convincing in the way that they do it. So yeah, I'm proper worried about them, but we need to focus on ourselves, I think. Good morning, Ian from Spurs Diehards, who says good morning. All big up, mate. Go subscribe to Spurs Diehards if you haven't, guys, already. Rival bias. Yeah, I think we need to leave Arsenal. Arsenal are a great side. I think they finish first or second. Tottenham are a different project. It's a different project. They're a long way ahead of us. That's the reality. Our dominance over them has ended for now. The other Sky Bet poll, fan poll that I want to talk about, the little survey they've done, was the question were, what are your hopes for the ownership of your club? And this is a Tottenham Hotspur one, and the answers were stick with the same owners or prefer a takeover. 58% said stick with the same owners, and 42% prefer a takeover. I think that represents the real split among the fan base. I do think slowly but surely prefer a takeover does go up a little bit. I don't necessarily know, if I'm totally honest with you, where I stand about it in this moment in time. So I'm very interested, though, to hear from you in the comments below. But 58% want to stick with the same owners. Donna Cullen impersonation account in the comments. Donna, we're talking about the position of ENIC. 58% think that we should stay with ENIC at the moment. I find that interesting. I thought it'd be close. I didn't expect particularly ownership to win. I don't know, obviously, how Sky Bet done the fan survey. But yeah, there's two surprising set of results, to be honest with you. Again, whether you think they're right or wrong, but I didn't see either of them coming. Obviously, I don't think the survey was mass produced, if you like, but it's still statistics, and that's how Spurs fans feel. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that. Yeah, big up Donna, big up everyone else in the chat. So yeah, let me know what you think of that. But that was two Sky Bet polls, which is very interesting. Mr. Scarf, you can send me the link. I'll come on and give you more valuable insight on the topic. I'll put the link in the chat for anyone that wants to come on. But it can literally be anyone. Obviously, ideally Spurs fans, but we're going to go for another 10, 15 minutes. So the link is in, it might not let me, no, it won't let me go in the chat. So it might be a case of next time. It doesn't like links, but we can definitely organise it next time. But that is the Sky Bet polls, which is quite surprising. Next, I want to focus on Mikey Moore, because Alistair Gold said that Mikey Moore was expected to sign his first professional contract with Tottenham today at some point. So I do think it'll be announced by the end of today, maybe tomorrow. They want to get it sorted before you get all the coverage about the Leicester game. So they want to get it done in the early part, certainly, of this week. He turned 17 yesterday. This will be his first professional contract with Spurs. I really like what I've seen. Hard-working, dedicated player. He looks really good. And out of all of our young players that I'm most excited about, I'd go Mikey Moore and Lucas Bergevall. I'm the most excited about Mikey Moore, and now 17, need to get used to saying that, but at 16, working with the first team at the end of last season, and just really, really did trust him. It's really promising. So, we've got an exciting team for the future. When we talk about toppling Arsenal, the question was, can we topple Arsenal in 5-6 years' time? I absolutely understand the poll. But this season, 40%, that's a big chunk. I thought it'd be something like 20, 21, 22%. I have exclusive updates from the boardroom for everyone. Go on, Donna, get in the comments below. Rinketic wants to know what Donna will do with Bissouma, but I do think, as I said before, the club will take action. But Mikey Moore, wish him happy birthday on behalf of the channel yesterday, and he will sign that professional contract today. So we were just awaiting an announcement. Before we wrap up today, I want to talk about the winger search. And do we need one? Chat, that's a question to you. Do we need a winger this window? I think it'd be nice. I don't think it's essential. I think the striker was. I think it would be nice because we have two players that can play left-hand side, right-hand side, and down the middle. I think a long-term replacement for Son eventually is essential. I don't know whether Yang will be that player or not. So I think we probably do need to bring someone in. I don't know whether I'd class it as essential or not. But in terms of personnel, winger-wise, Neto, I don't think they've announced it yet, but will be a Chelsea player for 60 million euros. So I want to put a couple of names out there to put towards the chat that I think potentially we could go after. One is, he's actually going to the Championship. It's a top player in the Championship, and that is Jonathan Rowe of Norwich, who is expected, as far as I know, to leave Norwich. Didn't feature at all in the matchday squad whatsoever. Told to go home, in fact, in their first game, which ended in defeat 2-0 against Oxford. So I really like Jonathan Rowe, really young, really energetic. I think he's a top player. Reminds me a bit of Adama Traore, but better, but a younger version. And another name I want to put out there, which I don't think will happen, is Nomi Mwanweke. for Chelsea, who I think will leave, and you hear a lot. And the only thing is, you hear a lot like he wants to take penalties, and everything you hear about him isn't good. But in terms of footballing ability, I know it's Chelsea we're dealing with, but them two players would be, because I'm not thinking about now, and I know you're probably going to go to me, Harry, these aren't world-class players, in particular Jonathan Rowe, but they've both got potential, in particular Jonathan Rowe, to be. And if we're thinking long-term replacement for Son, that's the first couple of names that come to me. To be honest with you, we hear names of Williams, Bakayoko. So chat, I mean, there's 9 of you listed, so do get involved in the comments below. Do you think, firstly, we need a winger? If so, who? It'll be very interesting to see who you think we should get. Hi all, 7:55 p.m. in Melbourne. Big up, Peter. I appreciate the dedication. If anyone's interested, we've got the weekly show tonight, 7:45 p.m. here, live on YouTube, 7:45 p.m. Enjoyed by Billy T. Is one of the 4 guests. Should be a very, very good show. Billy T will be a regular this season. We're continuing to get big guests, Spurs and football guests, on not only the weekly show, but also the Premier League show. I'm going to put names out there. We've got Crackers, Lee McQueen, all booked in before we get to that Christmas period. And actually, before we get to the end of the month as well, there's some big names everywhere you look. So, do stay tuned. So big up, Peter, for your ongoing commitment. Big up, Donna. I will tell Mr. Scuff about Bissouma. It won't let me send the link on here, so I need your ex if anyone wants to come on. Yeah, Ian's also on tonight from Spurs Die Hards. I'm looking forward to tonight. It'll be very good to have you on. I'm signing a proven Italian winger. It's no secret. Okay, I'll be interested to see who. Chiesa. We'll have to see. Love it, Donna. Tottenham can definitely be on par with Arsenal in the next 2 or 3 seasons. I do think 4th place must be the aim for Spurs. It is. It's about getting back where we belong and where we spent the majority of the last decade, back into the top 4. And eventually, I'm not going to sit here and go, we should win a trophy next season, but we should be able to see progression. Why can't we get to the quarterfinal, the semi-final of the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, or the Europa League, if you treat it seriously? So that'll be for me the aim this season. A lot of you in here, so big up. Everyone watching, make sure you're subscribing to Harry's channel. Big up, Barney. Really do appreciate it. Big up to my admin, Lewis. It's brilliant lives. Can't wait to get back to it soon. Be fantastic. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. Yes, it takes seconds to subscribe. Even if you don't come back, you don't like me and what I have to say. We've got a fantastic team at Scarfy Spurs. A lot of them talk more sense and work a lot harder than I do. Well, they certainly do talk a lot more sense. So do smash that subscribe button. You can send. It won't let me send on here because it's a StreamYard jink, I'm afraid. Big up Scott, who says we do with a much better right winger. Cooley could compete for cam role, and Johnson could be competing with a rotation option. Do you know, I actually agree with that. I do agree with that. I think I never really thought of that. Yeah, I think Kulusevski's better essentially. I don't think he'd play the number 9 position a lot with Richarlison staying and Solanke sign. But Neto would have been that perfect player, could play left or right hand side. Then we're lacking a little bit for options. I think Rowe can, Manweke can definitely play that right hand side. Peter says Angie's building. Absolutely, we're behind him. Just as soon as he sorts out their set piece issues, I think we can go to the next level. Rinketic says hi, Lois. Barney says Spurs should have the mentality of why we can win a trophy. So absolutely, that's the way we should look at it. I think you've got to look at. It's not about necessarily winning a trophy this season, but how can we get closer? How we can support the manager. And Ancelotti, I think, is great and can bring success back to Tottenham. I believe of that. I really like the guy, the way he speaks, what he does with management, but he needs to first accept that set piece is an issue. That's a big thing for me. I think that takes us from 5th to 4th, to be honest with you. When you conceded 2 goals from set pieces in a game, like we did against Arsenal, North London derby at home last season, like we did against Bayern a couple of days ago, that's the difference between winning a game and losing a game, getting a point, losing the game. And fine margins, scrapping zonal marking will take us to the next level. And I'm a strong believer in that. Big up AJ says Bissouma needs to be sold. I think the club will struggle following this to sell Bissouma. And he wasn't consistent enough last season. And Ange Postecoglou's system as well, focusing on footballing ability. You have to be consistent. And I just don't know if he's to do that. But we'll have to see what happens with Bissouma. I think he's got himself in some real trouble. I really agree with Peter Bergevall, Gray, unreal signings yet. And we saw the trust that Ange had in both of them, but in particular Archie Gray played in numerous positions when we had centre-backs out etc. So yeah, they're two really good young players. Quick question for the chat, actually, in the comments below. What young player are you most excited about? I'm really interested in hearing in the comments below because you've got quite a few of them. I really want to know who people find most exciting. Mikey Moore, Will Lancashire, Donley, Bergerville. I want to know if there's anyone in particular. Winketic says Bergerville at 8 and Maddison at 10 for Leicester. Tell you what, I'll go through my lineup. You guys tell me what you think. So Vicario in goal. I think the back kind of five, including the goalkeeper, is predictable. Doggy, Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, assume they're all available. They should be. They are at this moment in time. Midfield, this is where it gets tough. Bissouma's made it tough for me. Very, very tough. I want to see Ben scoring. If this is my team, it would be Bentancur, Bergerville, and Bissouma. But I don't think Bissouma will start. I think Bergerville will. And I'm surprised I'm saying that. I was like, he's alone. He's not quite ready yet. But the more I see, I think Bergerville is ready. And if it's based on form, he starts over Maddison. But that midfield is really interesting. I think we know what the front three is kind of going to look like. We know what the back line is going to look like. It's the midfield that we don't know what's going to look like. Front three, if Solanke's ready, I would start him, Son, and Johnson. I think it's Harsh and Kulusevski. See, that's actually another thing. I'm going to change my midfield three. I'm going to make it Kulusevski, Bergerville, and Bissouma. I don't think Bissouma will start for 1 minute, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. AJ says, I really don't care where he goes. Just got to get him gone. Too many young players in the squad that are learning from seniors. Yeah, no, that's a good point. AJ, who would buy him? Good question. That's the problem we've got now, especially following yesterday. And I'll get to all your questions. As we are gone live, just about to end, we've got the announcement about Mikey Moore and his first professional contract at Spurs. The Spurs have took to X literally 28 seconds ago to say we're delighted to announce that Mikey Moore has signed his first professional contract with the club. So massive congratulations to Mikey Moore, a guy, a lad with a bright future ahead of him. So on behalf of the channel, on behalf of myself, I wish Mikey Moore, congratulate Mikey Moore on his first professional contract. So that's just fantastic to see. Just before we're wrapping up for today, I want to bring up Scott's comment. Scott says Bergwall is the best youngster right now, but Gray, Moore and Donley are all exciting. Yeah, massive big up to Ian. Peter says learning from the seniors, but these kids have their own style. Yeah, they do. I think it's fair to say. But yeah, that is the big breaking news as we're about to finish. Mikey Moore got his first professional contract. And Emerson, I assume, is a lengthy bit way through his medical. So we'll be back with another live show. We'll be back with the weekly show tonight, 7:45 p.m. live on YouTube with Billy T and other big guests such as Ian in the chat, Julie and Justin regular on the show as well. But for now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It's free to do so, and it takes 2-3 seconds to do so. And even if you don't come back, it will be massively appreciated. But big up to the chat. You make these shows special as always with your questions, with your contribution. And it definitely wants to make me do more of these. But for now, a massive come on you Spurs and have a fantastic day.
Working as a manager at Celtic Park when we met you. We picked you out, you shook us up and turned us around. You've turned us into something new. Ange Postecoglou, you know that we believe it when you say you're gonna change it. Ange Postecoglou, we're the mighty Tottenham and nobody's gonna stop them. Oh, he looks so fine in blue and lily white. And then he said to me, I'm from a land down under. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh, oh.
Follow Scarfy's Spurs talk this summer for all the Spurs news. I can assure you, you won't be disappointed.